I am rebuilding the South Alabama Jaguars in College Football 25 because Gold Productions commented on a previous video to rebuild South Alabama. I'm going to put a link to their channel in the description below in this video. Everyone go subscribe to their channel right now. If you want to get a shout out in a future video, go ahead and comment below right now other teams you want to see me rebuild. I will pick one comment and make a video with it. As you can see, I am using a created head coach TD Gamer level 1. All the other rebuilds I've done so far, I've always used the existing head coach, but I've run into problems with the recruiting. It's very important to get good recruiting classes early on in the first year or two. So by creating a head coach, I can go through and fill out his recruiting upgrades and get them maxed out right away, because whenever you're a level 1 coach, you get a lot of points pretty quickly. If you use an existing head coach that's like a level 20 or 30, it takes forever for them to get the skill points, or the coach points I think is what they're called. So if they're not already having recruiting upgrades, it takes forever to be able to do that. South Alabama is a 1-star school in the Sun Belt Conference. They're currently a 79 overall in the game. They actually have a bright future at the quarterback position, in my opinion. Gio Lopez is a redshirt freshman. He's already 81 overall. He's a scrambler archetype. He has 83 speed, 90 throw power. His accuracies are all looking pretty damn good, really. So he's definitely going to be a starting quarterback for us for the majority of the video. We'll probably do at least 4 years, maybe 5 years. I'm going to scroll through here and look at the depth chart real quick just so you have a feel of what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and start Braylon McReynolds at running back because he's a sophomore and he's pretty much similar to Bullock. At wide receiver, we have 85 overall Jamal Pritchett. He is the highest rated player on the team, I do believe. He's a senior, so hopefully he has a great year for us. Looks like our 4 best receivers are all seniors, so we're gonna have all new guys next year. Same thing at tight end, all seniors. We got 82 overall. Left tackle 81, left guard 75, center is a 73, right guard 73, right tackle I'm starting a 72 redshirt freshman. So we do definitely have a lot of room to grow at the offensive line because we're not looking that great. 79 defensive end, 75 freshman defensive end. I'm starting him over McBride, who is a 76 senior. I think we have a lot more opportunity to develop this freshman, obviously. Defensive tackle, we have 3 seniors. We got an 80, a 78, and a 76. Outside linebacker, 70 overall. Middle linebacker, 76 overall. And then outside linebacker, 70 overall. So our linebacking core is not the best, obviously. Cornerbacks, we have a bunch of juniors here. We got a couple of 80s and a 79, not bad. Free safety, oh look, we got 87 overall. Free safety senior, so he's definitely the highest rated player on the entire team. Strong safety 76. Since we are only a 1-star school and we only have 350 hours to recruit, I decided to go after only 3-star guys that actually have interest in us. As you can see, we are first on all these guys. We were already first on them pretty much before we even started doing any of the recruiting. I think, did I add any 4-stars? No, I did not. Okay. So we actually do have a pretty big surprise for me anyways. We already have a commit. As soon as I offered this dude a scholarship, he was like, yes, please. So we got Fernando Crespo, defensive tackle, power rusher. He's a 3-star. I have not scouted him at all, so I don't know if he's a gem or a bust or whatever. Going after this quarterback who is a 3-star gem. I try to get as many gems as I could, but obviously we only have so many hours to scout. We got a 3-star gem, Juan Gatcher at running back. 3-star gem center, Devin Bourne. And then these other guys, they are not gems, but they're not busts either. Quick look at the schedule. We got North Texas, Ohio, FCS Northwest, Appalachian State. Number 13 LSU is definitely the hardest game we have. Arkansas State, Troy, UL Monroe, Georgia Southern, Louisiana, Southern Mississippi, and Texas State. I don't expect us to do great this first season. I'm going to say on the high end, we're going to be 6-6. On the low end, maybe like 4-8. Simulated the first game of the season against North Texas, and we lose 56-38 in a shootout. Look at the stats real quick. Lopez had a 140 rating, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did throw 2 interceptions. 65% completion is not terrible, and he had over 100 yards rushing with the tutty. Lopez is a beast. Webb had 92 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then Pritchett had 1 touchdown receiving. Defensively, Dalton Hughes with the most tackles with 9, and Wycavius, how do you say this guy's name? Wycavius Thomas, I guess, had 1 sack. Miller had half a sack, and McBride had half a sack, and we actually had 1 interception for Ricky Fletcher. Despite the fact that we lost that first game, we did get 20 coach points, so it's time to do some upgrading here. Gonna help the quarterbacks with these first 2 getting up. I'll go one more on the O-line since we started out with that one. I started with that one first because we had less time to fully scout the O-line. Now scouted a bunch of O-linemen. And I guess let's go running back. I like to go offense first. We pick up our first win of the season in the second game versus Ohio, and we also get the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Week in Akil Washington, the junior. He had 2 sacks, 4 tackles, and 2 tackles for loss. With the win, we do get 10 more coach points here, so this is why I like to create a new coach, because you get to go through here and build them out the way that you want. We actually destroyed Ohio 49-17. Love to see that. Looking at the stats here, Lopez a 146 rating, 380 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, another 2 interceptions, 60% completion. He had 8 carries for 29 yards with 2 rushing touchdowns, so he had 4 touchdowns total. Everyone else didn't really run much, but Bullock did have 2 rushing touchdowns, and the receiver Pritchett had a rushing touchdown. Receiving, we have 2 guys over 100, including Pritchett. And let's see, Thomas Jones and Webb both had touchdowns receiving. Defensively, we had 2 guys with 11 tackles here, including 87 overall, the highest rated player on the team, Jaden Voisin, a free safety. Sacks, Washington with 2.5, Norman had 1, and Hughes had half. Fletcher and Scruggs both with interceptions. Definitely expected us to get our second win against FCS Northwest. We beat them 56-17, a similar score to last week. Lopez with his best game and 170 rating, well, at least his best rating anyways. 191 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 57% completion. McReynolds had his first 100-yard game. Lopez had 50 yards and a touchdown, and the wide receiver Pritchett had 5 carries for 40 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing. Webb had 72 yards and a tutty. Pritchett had 1, and Voisin all had receiving touchdowns. Defensively, Myrick had the most tackles with 7. We had no sacks, and Webb and Voisin both had interceptions. We have officially got our first commit of the entire rebuild. It's 3-star tight end Mike Brenza from Shakopee, Minnesota. We also got a 3-star middle linebacker Jason Lawrence from Brandon, Mississippi. Simulated 2 games since we last checked in, and we lost to Appalachian State 43-41, but somehow we upset LSU. They were ranked number 8, I believe, at the time. Beat them 31-21. I cannot believe that. Honestly thought we were going to get demolished by them. Let's see, Lopez a 140 rating, 200 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He got sacked 5 times. 74% completion is his highest so far. He also had 90 rushing yards with a touchdown. McReynolds had a rushing touchdown, and Pritchett with another rushing touchdown. Dude is going to break the record for rushing touchdowns by a wide receiver. We had 2 guys over 50 yards receiving, but no touchdowns. Defensively, Fletcher 8 tackles, most on the team. We had 0 sacks and 0 interceptions, but we still won the game. We got a quarterback committing 3-star Donovan Jasmine from Moultrie, Georgia. We got a 3-star running back Juan Gachar, how do you say that? From Mobile, Alabama. 3-star center Devin Bourne from West Point, Mississippi. A 3-star right guard Shakir Wall from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. 3-star center Evan Lincoln from Kansas City, Missouri. We're just getting everybody. We just picked up our 4th win of the season. We got the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Week against Arkansas State. Jamal Pritchett, breakout game of his career, 6 catches, 240 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And that is good enough for the National Offensive Player of the Week. Looking at the stats from that win, we got George Lopez, 238 rating, 329 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 60% completion. That is by far his best game for sure. And there's no running going on at all. Thought Pritchett had that crazy game. Webb had 4 for 65. Defensively, Hughes with the most tackles with 10. We do have 3 guys with sacks, including Carlos Johnson, Akil Washington, and Wycavius Thomas. And no interceptions. It's been a while since I last checked in. We are officially at the end of the regular season. We finished 5-7, so right between where I expected us to be, 4-8 and 6-6. So that means that we do not qualify for a bowl game. We lost to Troy. We lost to UL Monroe. UL Monroe was 0-6 when we played them, and then they got their first win against us. We lost to Georgia Southern. We lost to Louisiana, who is ranked number 19 now. We beat Southern Mississippi, and then we lost to Texas State, who is ranked number 17 now. Since the season is officially over, it's time to look at the season stats. Gio Lopez in his freshman season, 3,200 yards, 24 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. I do like that touchdown to interception ratio a lot. 61% completion is not bad. A 148 rating, not terrible. Rushing, Lopez also led the team in rushing yards, 650 yards, 5.3 per carry with 8 rushing touchdowns. Dude is going to be a beast by the time he's a junior or a senior. McReynolds, the actual running back that had the most rushing yards, 458 with 3 touchdowns. Wide receiver Pritchett had 38 carries. He had 7 rushing touchdowns, which is crazy for a wide receiver, man. And he also had the most yards, 975 on 71 catches, 9 touchdowns. Webb had 780 yards with 6 touchdowns. Voisin had 580 yards with 5 touchdowns. Tight end Thomas Jones, 500 yards with 4 touchdowns. Defensively, Dalton Hughes had 98 tackles. Wow, that's a lot for a college season. Akil Washington had the most tackles for loss with 7 sacks. Also, Akil Washington had the most with 6.5. And we had a ton of guys with 2 or 2.5 sacks. Interceptions, Fletcher had 3. Miller had 2, Webb had 2, Scruggs had 2, and Voisin, the free safety, had 1. Highest overall rated player on the team. Also, since I last checked in, we have got a lot of recruiting upgrades here on our abilities. You can see we have pretty much everyone on 3, if not, got at least 2 on everyone except for kicker. I'm not too worried about that one. It is early national signing day. We have the 29th ranked recruiting class. We got 16 total commits so far, just a ton of 3 stars, 16 of them. Looking at the 2024 college football playoff bracket, Georgia beats Clemson to become the national champs, 35-20. They went 14-3 on the season. We have 6 players that want to transfer out. I tried to get 4 of them to stay, but they all said no thanks. What doesn't make sense to me is that the majority of them are leaving because of playing style. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys that are leaving because of playing style. How does that make sense whenever they decided to come to this school and the very first year is over and they're like, oh, I don't like the playing style even though I committed here and I've been here for like 3 years, so I'm transferring out. And this one cornerback, Lardarius Webb, is wanting to leave because of pro potential. Dude is an 80 overall, so there's a very low chance that he's going to get drafted even after this season. If he has like 20 interceptions, he'll still only be like an 85 overall. Got to be like about a 90 overall to even have a chance to get drafted. We do have a lot of our best players graduating though. Best overall rated player on the team, Jaden Voisin, the free safety, is an 87 overall. He's not projected to get drafted, but I have seen 87 overalls get drafted in the 7th or 6th round after not being projected to get drafted. We're also losing Jamal Pritchett, our best wide receiver, and our best tight end's gone. Bullock is transferring out, a-hole. Well, would you looky there, we actually got someone getting drafted. Free safety Jaden Voisin. Like I said, I've seen 87 overalls get drafted in the 7th and 6th round. Voisin goes in the 7th round to the NFL. We actually have a ton of interest in the transfer portal, but the highest we have is 3 stars. I'm gonna go through here and see if we have any need at any of these positions and fill them out. It's officially National Signing Day. We finished with the 45th ranked recruiting class in the country. We got 31 players and every single one of them was 3 stars. We did get some transfers coming over, so hopefully they can help boost the team up a little bit. We got the depth traits revealed now on the recruiting class. So the first guy that has elite or star is the running back Juan Gachkar, 3-star gem. He has elite dev, that's awesome. We got a star dev center, that's a 3-star gem. Anybody else? We got normal, ton of normals, impact, normal. Show me some stars and some elites, man. We're getting to the transfers down here now. Everybody just has no more impact. That's terrible. This guy decided he didn't want to go to college at all, even though we were the only ones that even offered him a scholarship. He's like, yeah, no thanks, buddy. After training results, our highest overall rated player is 85. Running back Braylon McReynolds. And then we have a few more guys that are 83 overall. Gio Lopez, he was 82 and he's only gone up to 83. I was checking him out and unfortunately he only has normal dev and he's a 2-star. He's a redshirt sophomore at this point, so he's technically a junior. We're gonna roll with them for now, but if we can find like a 4-star gym or even a 5-star quarterback, we might end up replacing them sooner than later. Here's a look at the depth chart for season 2. We got at quarterback Gio Lopez, redshirt sophomore, is 83 overall. At running back, McReynolds, the highest rated player on the team, 85 overall junior, wearing that big number 0. At wide receiver, we're not looking good at all, honestly. Our best receiver is a 72 overall sophomore, who technically is a junior because he's a red shirt. And then we have 4 guys that are in 70s, and yeah, just not looking good. Wide receiver is definitely not a strength on this team. At tight end, we have 75 overall Trent Thomas, Left tackle 82 overall, left guard 81 overall, center is a 78, right guard's a 79, right tackle is a 78. So our offensive line definitely got better. Our left end is 82 overall, our right end is a 79 overall. But you know what, I think I'm going to go ahead and start Achilles Woods over top of the 79 overall senior, because Woods is a freshman is what I was trying to say. Durgan is a senior, he's 79 overall, so Woods has a ton of upside. Defensive tackle, we have 76 overall, 72, 72. Outside linebacker 81 overall, middle linebacker 83 overall, outside linebacker 77 overall, senior. At cornerback we have 83 overall, 80 overall, and I'm really hyped about this cornerback, Amarion Fortenberry. He is a redshirt freshman and he's 80 overall. Free safety 78 overall, and at strong safety 79. Quick look at recruiting here. We're going after a bunch of 4-stars this year because we actually can add 65 hours on majority of the players. Actually, I think we can do it on every player now. Going after a 4-star gym outside linebacker, 3-star gym quarterback, 4-star gym running back, a 4-star corner, a 4-star deep threat wide receiver, and a 4-star center, and that uses all of our hours. Schedule this season, we're starting off against the Riverside Royals, the FCS West team. Then we got Tulane, Auburn, North Texas, Southern Mississippi, UL Monroe, Appalachian State, Troy, Coastal Carolina, Texas State, Arkansas State, and Louisiana. We are 3 games into the regular season and we are 3-0, if you can see. Big 3-0, definitely didn't expect that. I knew that we'd beat FCS West for sure. Tulane, we barely beat them by 1 point, and we actually upset Auburn 21-17. Let's look at the stats on this game real quick. Lopez had a nice game, 173 rating, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 75% completion. Love to see that. He also had 8 carries for 46 yards rushing. McReynolds didn't do much at all. Receiving, we have literally crap receivers, but dudes out here putting up numbers. Woods, 7 catches, 100 yards, 1 touchdown. Scott had 72 yards with the touchdown. Tight end Trent Thomas had a touchdown. Nice. Defensively, Amarion Fortenberry, the cornerback of the future, leading the team in tackles with 10 sacks. We had 0 interceptions, 0. 4th game of the season, we suffer our first loss. We lose to North Texas 31-28. Look at the stats for a little bit closer look here. Lopez still had a great game, a 188 rating, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He did get sacked 5 times, 78% completion. Dude heard me talking about potentially replacing him and he's like, oh yeah, watch this, coach. He also had the most rushing yards, 33 with 1 touchdown. A regular running game was just non-existent. Receiving, Woods had 88 for 2 touchdowns. Scott 48 for 1 touchdown. Defensively, 3 guys with 7 tackles. Sacks, we had 0, and we had 1 interception, Ricky Fletcher. We have breaking news, program history for the rebuild. Our first 4-star recruit has committed, outside linebacker Evan Hendricks from Jacksonville, Florida. Taking a closer look at Evan Hendricks, he's a 4-star gym outside linebacker, but he's 6'2", 252 pounds. Says he's a run stopper, so definitely be getting moved to middle linebacker, most likely. I'm not 100% sure. He also have 86 speed, which is pretty fast for a dude that's big. 84 pursuit, 83 tackle. Let the 4-stars pile up. We got a 4-star running back, Ty Burton from Pilot Mountain, North Carolina. We get another one. We do get the Sunbelt Offensive Player of the Week. Wide receiver, Keyshawn Woodyard. He's a senior. 10 catches, 82 yards with 2 tutties for the boy. We pick up a quarterback competition here. We got the 3-star quarterback, Ben Mendoza from Duncanville, Texas. We also get a 4-star cornerback, Joey Gentry from Mobile, Alabama. 4-star wide receiver, Delvin Papo from Cross Plains, Tennessee. He'll probably be starting right away because all our wide receivers are booty. We get a 4-star center, Rico Bandy from Mesquite, Texas. We are 8 games into the regular season, and that's right, folks. We are 7-1, 4-0 in conference play. We are currently 1st in the Sunbelt West. We beat Auburn. We saw that last. They were actually ranked number 19 now, so that was actually a really big win. And then we lost to North Texas. Since then, we have gone on a win streak. We beat Southern Mississippi 38-24. We beat UL Monroe 34-33 by 1 point. We beat Appalachian State 21-18, and we beat Troy 40-35 in the last game. Look at the stats in that game real quick. Lopez, a 156 rating, 400 yards passing. Wow. 2 touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions though. 69% completion. Reynolds actually had a good game running the ball like a running back should, 78 yards with 1 touchdown. He had 6 yards per carry. We love to do like end around plays with the wide receiver apparently, because Woodyard had 4 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. He had a 30-yard run. Receiving, Eager had 7 for 133 with the touchdown. Nice. Defensively, we had 2 guys with 6 tackles, including the redshirt freshman cornerback Amarion Fortenberry. Got any sacks here? 0 sacks and 0 interceptions. We have breaking news here. We are at the end of the regular season. The team is 10-2, and that's right, we are ranked number 21 in the country. Made it to the Sun Belt Championship game, and we're gonna be playing against number 19 Marshall. Where we last left off at was a Coastal Carolina game. We beat them 23-13. We did lose to Texas State 34-28. Then we beat Arkansas State 49-13, annihilated them. Then we beat Louisiana 31-10. Now we got that bowl or the conference championship game coming up. Unfortunately, we lost the conference championship game, but we do make it to the Cure Bowl in Orlando against the Bowling Green Falcons. Marshall beat us in the conference championship game 38-23. Kind of a one-sided game, as you can see. Gio Lopez had a 116 rating, 350 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 53% completion, and he had the most rushing yards with 36. But we had a wide receiver with a rushing touchdown. That seems to happen a lot. And Woodyard also had 4 catches for 100 yards and a tutty. Receiving, and then Blaine Myrick had the most tackles with 5. No sacks once again, and we actually had 3 interceptions. Wesley Miller, the safety, had 2, and then Amarion Fortenberry, 8. He had 1 interception. It's early National Signing Day, and we have the 22nd ranked recruiting class in the country. We have 13 total players, but we do have 6 4-stars. Last year we did not get any 4-stars at all, so this recruiting class is already way better. We got 7 3-stars. Well, we lost to Bowling Green in the bowl game. Finished the season 10-4. We lost the game 32-20. Look at the stats in this since this is the last game of the season. Lopez had a 137 rating, 285 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Got sacked 5 damn times. Wow. 52% completion. Yeah, he also had the most rushing yards with 40. Receiving, Woodyard had a game. Wow, 7 catches, 154 yards, and a tutty. Eager had a touchdown on 62 yards. Defensively, Myrick had the most tackles once again with 9. And we have 0 sacks. Man, we suck at getting pressure on the quarterback with sacks. And cornerback Ricky Fletcher had the 1 interception. Quick update on the coaching abilities. I have all of the recruiting stuff maxed out to 4 besides the kicker, because I don't care about that at all. And I started spending my points on motivator. I've never done that before, or never tried to grow this tree, but the thing I like about it is whenever you get to tier 3, it's called put in work. This is for the quarterback, but it says quarterbacks get an off-season training boost. So I'm starting to do that with all the players, or all the positions. I mean, we got it for a running back and for wide receiver on top of the quarterback. So hopefully we can get our players to develop nice in the off-season. I'm not worried about the tier 1 where it's like bonus XP when QBs are drafted in the top 3 rounds. We're not going to be having any players drafted in the top 3 rounds. And then tier 2 says they stay hot through timeouts, quarter change, and across games, which is good to have if you're actually playing the games, but we're just simulating this in the rebuild. Since the season is officially over, it's time to look at the season stats. Gio Lopez had 4,100 yards passing. I actually almost had 4,200 yards. He was 5 yards short of that. 35 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions. That is awesome. 66% completion with a 152 rating. He is definitely getting better. Rushing yards, McReynolds had 124 carries for 600 yards, 5 yards per carry with 3 touchdowns. Dude's averaging 5 yards per carry. He needs to be getting more carries, but I realized that the offense that we're running, it relies on the quarterback to run a lot. So Lopez, he did have 568 yards rushing, 4.2 yards per carry with 7 touchdowns. Receiving, we have Jeremy Scott, the freshman, 892 yards, most on the team with 6 touchdowns. Eager, as a sophomore, had 700 yards with 9 touchdowns. And then Micah Woods, he had 650 yards with 10 touchdowns. And Woodyard had 550 yards and 4 touchdowns. Both these guys are seniors. So, I mean, we're going to have a lot of turnover at the wide receiver spot once again, which we need it because we have a lot of not so great players. Hopefully the new guys coming in can do something. Blaine Myrick leads the team in tackles with 80 tackles for loss. Akil Washington had 15, led the team by a ton. And he had the most sacks again with 6.5. Nathan Jennings had 5.5 as a freshman. Love to see that. And we got a freshman D tackle with 5 sacks. Nice. Interceptions, Miller had 4, Fletcher had 4, Omarion Fortenberry, the freshman, had 3, Austin Osbury had 2, and then Hughes, Myrick, and Wright all had 1. Looking at the 2025 college football playoff bracket, we got North Carolina State defeating USC 40-36 to become the national champs. They finished 14-2 on the year. Looking at the All-Americans for the season, we only had 1 freshman All-American, and it's our punter, Parker Solder. I looked at the All-Americans last season and we didn't have any at all. This season we have 3 players that are wanting to transfer out, which is way less than last year, but we do have one of our best players that wants to leave. Running back Braylon McReynolds. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get him to stay. Nope, he's leaving because of playing style, which makes no sense because we're literally running the same playbook that we have been running since the very first season. Been here the whole time. Right tackle was a freshman. Definitely want him to try to stay. He is gonna stay. This guy, I guess I'll see if he wants to stay. All right, we're good. As far as the graduating seniors, we do not have anyone that's projected to get drafted, but we're losing our best cornerback, best defensive end, our starting left tackle, another starting corner, and a starting outside linebacker. As expected, nobody got drafted. Looking at the transfer portal, we actually do have a few 4-star guys, so I'm going to try to get as many of those as I can. It's National Signing Day. We finished with the 19th ranked recruiting class in the country. I'm pretty proud of that. We got 26 total players. We got 9 4-stars because we got 3 4-star transfers to commit. We got 17 3-stars. Now we have dev traits revealed, so we can check that out. We got a 4-star gem outside linebacker from high school, but he only has impact dev trait. That's kind of crappy. Another 4-star gem running back, impact dev. 3-star gem quarterback, impact dev. Come on, man, really? And this guy is a 4-star, not a gem, or well, I guess I don't know. I don't have him scouted, but he's a star dev. I'm definitely happy about that. No complaining, I guess. Any other guys that are not impact or normal? Got a star dev. All right, this is a transfer junior 4-star defensive tackle. He is a star dev, so that means that he'll be a senior. Star dev, 3-star running back out of high school. These other 2 transfers that we have, they're both cornerbacks and they just have impact dev trait. Anybody else down here with anything? Nope. Here's what the depth chart is looking like for season 3. Gio Lopez is technically up to an 84 overall, but he's getting boosted up to 87 overall as a redshirt junior. At running back, we have a new starter, Jarvis Durr, since our starting running back decided to transfer out. He's an 83 overall, and we have a backup running back that's 83 overall as well. Bluff Bothwell. At wide receiver, we're still not looking the greatest, but we're finally getting a little bit of development here. Anthony Eager is a 79 overall, but the dude has 99 speed with 98 agility, 96 acceleration. We do have a true freshman receiver down redshirt, and Delvin Papo. He's a 73 overall. Hopefully he'll be one of the best receivers on the team next year. At tight end, we have 79 overall Trent Thomas. Our offensive line is the best it has ever been. This roster is the best it's been. As you see at the top, we are 85 overall, and we moved up from a 1-star school to a 2-star school. Nice. At left tackle, we have 88 overall, left guard 84 overall. At center, 85, right guard 83, and right tackle is 86. At defensive end, we have 82 overall and 80 overall. You know what? I think I might go ahead and start this freshman. He's already 80 overall as a redshirt. Yeah, you're gonna be the starter, buddy. Mitchell Schluger. All right. Defensive tackle, we have 82 overall RJ Moss, and then this is a 4-star transfer, Caden Story, who is an 82 overall. He's gonna be starting for us right away. Outside linebacker, I moved Blaine Myrick to outside linebacker. He was a middle linebacker, but he's up to 87 overall, and he's playing up to 88. He is in his senior year. Middle linebacker, I'm starting a true freshman, Evan Hendricks. Dude is 6'2", 252 pounds. He's a run stopper, 86 speed. Gonna be a beast, hopefully. Outside linebacker, Raheem Rhodes is a 78. At cornerback, we have Omarion Fortenberry. He's already up to 84 now. And then we have these 2 transfers, Jones and Patterson. Jones is an 84 overall as a junior, and Patterson's an 81 as a senior. At free safety, Austin Osbury is a 78. Strong safety, Wesley Miller is an 80 overall. Here's what recruiting is looking like for this season. We're going after a 5-star scrambling athlete quarterback. I do have him 100% scouted. He is not a gem or a bust, but he does have 91 speed with 92 throw power. His accuracies are looking really good. I think that he will fit in this offense really well with the running that the quarterback has to do in this offense. and he has some decent abilities: a magician, mobile resistance, and he has platinum off platform. Everyone else, they are, well, this guy's a 4-star gem running back, 4-star gem wide receiver, 4-star gem center, and I think that was all the gems that we had. But we are in first place on this 4-star safety, this 4-star cornerback, and this 4-star defensive tackle. It says that he's a bust, but he actually has really good abilities or attributes, I guess I could say. 83 power moves, 89 strength with 81 tackle, hit powers of 79, accelerations 81. So I mean, he could be a 4-star bust but have freaking star dev or something, because I've seen 4-star gems that have normal dev. So this is what the schedule's looking like for season 3. We got Troy, Tulane, Ohio, Kentucky, Texas State, Arkansas State, Louisiana. Our hardest game was going to be against number 6 Virginia Tech, Appalachian State, UL Monroe, Southern Mississippi, and Old Dominion. Somehow we managed to mess up the first game of the season and lose to Troy 22-17. Hopefully that's not a forecast of what the season is going to be looking like. Lopez didn't do too great. 137 rating, 267 yards, 2 tutties, 1 interception, got sacked twice, 60% completion. Rushing, running back Durr had 16 carries, 44 yards, only 2.8 per carry. That is terrible. Eager had 6 for 87, and Jeremy Scott had 80 yards with a touchdown. Daquan Samuel had a receiving touchdown. Defensively, William Felton at middle linebacker had the most tackles with 9, and then Myrick had the second most with 8. Sacks 0, interceptions 0. We bounce back in week 2 with the win over Tulane. We get the Sunbelt Offensive Player of the Week, wide receiver Anthony Eager, 6 catches, 118 yards with 3 big old tutties, boy. We get our first commitment of the season, 4-star wide receiver John Cross from Paris, Texas. Might finally be getting some help at wide receiver. It's been a weak position for us so far. We are 4 games into the season. After we lost to Troy to start the season, we beat Tulane 38-13. Then we beat Ohio 34-13. Then we lose to Kentucky 27-21. Kentucky is 3-0 right now. Look at the stats for this game. Lopez had a terrible game, 96 rating. What the hell? 200 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Only 46% completion, 18 completions out of 39 attempts. Not good. Running game basically non-existent. Receiving, Scott had 5 for 76 with a touchdown. Defensively, we had 2 guys with 9 tackles. Sacks, we got Schluger with 1, and then half a sack for Noble and Jones. Interceptions, Kelly Jones with 1. Recruiting update here in week 4. Still, we are in first place on this 5-star scrambling athlete quarterback. Hopefully we can get him to stay. One thing I cannot do is a hard sell on him, because we have a D- and a D+ and 2 of the things that he likes. So hopefully he doesn't notice that and he decides to come here. Still in first place on this running back, this center, and this safety, but we do lose out to Auburn on this 4-star cornerback. Freaking a-holes. I just scheduled a visit for him last week too, for this upcoming week, and he just loves Auburn so much. For some reason, there's been barely any teams trying to go after this 5-star free safety. I mean, he has what, 6 scholarship offers, including 1 from us, but nobody's been going after him, so the influence is really low. He hasn't even made it to his, well, he's at the top 8 right now. So I'm going hardcore with 65 hours on him. We get 4-star running back Damian Bradfield from Starkville, Mississippi. And we get a 4-star safety Dion Fatinikun from Montgomery, Alabama. Not sure how you say his name. Oh, we got a 4-star defensive tackle Clayton Badgett from Dothan, Alabama. That's the guy that was a 4-star bust, but he still had really high attribute. Freaking Alabama came out of nowhere within a 2-week period of the last game that we played and then a bye week. They weren't even trying to go after this guy, and all of a sudden, boom, they got him to commit. Screwed us over completely. We just beat Arkansas State in week 7. We get the Sunbelt Offensive Player of the Week. Wide receiver Anthony Eager with 17 catches, 174 yards, and 4 big old tutties, boy. Is that good enough for the national player? Is it? Yep. Definitely has to be. Quick update on the season. We are 4-2. We beat Texas State 34-24. Then we beat Arkansas State 45-35. Let's look at the stats on this game. Lopez had a 189 rating, 377 yards passing with 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, 79% completion. This is what I want to see from you, bro. 62 yards rushing for him also, and then Bothwell, running back, had 50 yards, 1 tutty. Saw Eager had that crazy game. Jeremy Scott still almost had 100 yards. Samuel was 69 yards. Trent Thomas to tight end with the receiving touchdown. Defensively, free safety Osbury with 7 tackles led the team. No sacks, and we have 1 interception. We have huge breaking news here. We got a 5-star quarterback, Zach German from Donaldsonville, Georgia. Yeah, that's how you say it. That is a weird ass city name. Okay. And right on cue, after we get that 5-star quarterback, our own quarterback Gio Lopez, the junior, gets Sunbelt Offensive Player of the Week. 392 yards with 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a win against Louisiana. I was gonna say Louisville for some reason. I don't know how to read, I guess. And would you believe it? That's good enough for the National Offensive Player of the Week. We beat Louisville 41-22, putting us at 5-2 on the year, and that's good enough to be ranked number 24 in the country. We have a huge game coming up against Virginia Tech. They're ranked number 25. It's huge because I think we have like 2 or 3 recruits that are going to be visiting this game, so hopefully we can get this dub. Looking at the stats from that Louisiana game, Gio Lopez had a 253 rating, 392 yards, 3 touchdowns. We saw that. 75% completion. Dude got sacked 7 times. Wow. Rushing, Lopez had 8 for 76 and 2 more touchdowns, so the dude accounted for 5 touchdowns by himself. Receiving, Daquan Samuel had 5 catches, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. Eager had 4 for 99 with the tutty. Defensively, we got 2 guys with 7 tackles, Blaine Myrick and Amarion Fortenberry. Any sacks? We finally got some sacks here. Rhodes and Noble with 1 sack each and no interceptions. Quick recruiting update. This is why week 9 is so crucial. We got Tyrell Durant, the 5-star free safety that no one was going after for the first couple weeks, and we decided to go after him. Now everyone's like, oh crap, we need to go after him too. So we have a visit scheduled for week 9, which is this game coming up. And then also this one right here is probably the most crucial one. This 4-star wide receiver, Dale Casey. Been in first place on him for the majority of the time. We have him scheduled for this week, but Auburn is coming in hot. Ole Miss is coming in hot. But we have him scheduled for this week 9 visit. So if we can win this game, I think we're going to get Casey for sure. And we'll get a decent lead on Durant because he's still pretty low. He's only in the top 5. Everyone else we're looking pretty good at. I just started going after these 2 guys right here. We're having to go after 3 stars now because we're out of 4 stars that are available. Well, I don't know if we won the game or not, but we do get the 4-star wide receiver Dale Casey from Lexington, Mississippi. Let's go. Yes, we did get the win. We beat number 25 Virginia Tech 31-23. Now they are 5-4 on the season and no longer ranked. That puts us at 6-2, and we are ranked number 18, boy. Let's check out the stats here. Lopez, 150 rating, 286 yards, 3 touchdowns with 2 interceptions. That's not good. 2 sacks, 69% completion. Nice. He also had the most rushing yards with 45 and 1 touchdown. Bothwell just has not been good at running back, and he's not even supposed to be the starter, but it's because Jarvis Durr is injured. All right. Eager had 7 for 76 with the touchdown, and the tight end Trent Thomas with 2 tutties in 1 game. Dang, coming through, red zone threat. Defensively, Patterson and Jones both had 7 tackles, leading the team. William Felton, the middle linebacker, had 1 sack, and Kelly Jones, transfer cornerback, had 1 interception. That win also did really good for the visit for Tyrell Durant, pushes us almost all the way to the top 3. But Georgia is still gaining behind us, and I mean, they almost gained the same amount as we did, even though we had a visit on top of the hours that we did. So hopefully we can hold Georgia off and get this 5-star safety because we need them in our secondary. Still in first place on this receiver, Lorenzo Fisher. Alejandro Madden, an athlete, agile offensive lineman, getting close to being in the top 3. I think we're going to get him. And Darren Michelle, he's a scrambling athlete. This guy's a scrambling athlete also. I'm just going to try to get these guys. I haven't scouted them. I'm hoping that they're going to be fast enough to where they can play like wide receiver or running back, maybe even defensive back, because athlete scrambling quarterbacks can sometimes be a cheat code and be really good at other positions. They're just playing quarterback in high school because they're literally the best player on the team. So they're like, all right, we got to put you at quarterback. We pick up a 4-star wide receiver, Lorenzo Fisher from Greenville, Mississippi. Definitely need to get some upgrades at the wide receiver position. We also get 4-star center, Alejandro Madden from Richmond, Texas. Quick update on the 5-star free safety. We are still in the lead and we're so close to getting him to commit, but Georgia is closing in hardcore. They have a visit with them in week 15. Georgia Tech has a visit with them in week 14, so hopefully we can close them off. We just need this much more to get them, man. Come on, bro, come through for the team. Yes, we were able to get the 5-star free safety Tyrell Durant from Chattanooga, Tennessee. We pick up a 4-star quarterback Darren Mitchell from Leesburg, Georgia. He's technically a scrambling athlete, so he could play another position. We are officially at the end of the regular season and we finished 8-4, not ranked in the top 25. Unfortunately, we lost to Appalachian State 31-21 after we just beat Virginia Tech. Then we beat UL Monroe 24-19, lost to Southern Mississippi 35-10. We beat Old Dominion 31-21, and they are 1-11 on the season. We should have beat them by way more. Look at the stats on this game. Lopez 157 rating, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He did not get sacked at all, 69% completion. He also had 12 carries for 88 yards. Jarvis Durr is back at running back, but he only had 5 carries for 13 yards, 1 touchdown. Receiving Eager had 8 for 90 with 2 tutties. Good game for him. Defensively, Myrick had 13 tackles. The dude's trying to get drafted. Sacks, we had Myrick with half a 1 and Story with the half a 1, and no interceptions from a 1-11 Old Dominion team. Unfortunately, we did not win enough conference games to qualify for the Sun Belt Conference Championship. We went 5-3 in conference. Troy went 7-1, but they went 7-5 for the entire season. We have a better record than them overall, but they had a better conference record, man. Sucks. We are going to the Bahamas Bowl against Sam Houston Bearcats. Shout out Spiced Up Gaming and Coach Spice. We're at early national signing day, and we actually have the 12th ranked recruiting class in the country. 14 total players. We got 2 5-stars, 9 4-stars, and only 3 3-stars. We actually did end up winning the Bahamas Bowl, so we got our first bowl game win. That win puts us at 9-4. We beat Sam Houston 42-17. We smacked them around, man. BTA. Lopez had a 173 rating, 270 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks, 71% completion. This is how I like to see you play, bro. And he also had 11 carries for 76 yards and 1 touchdown. The wide receiver Eager had 7 carries for 47 yards, running the jet sweep nonstop. Our actual running back only had 3 carries for 6 yards and a tutty. Okay. Tight end Trent Thomas had a game, 9 for 98 with 2 touchdowns. Samuel with a touchdown and Jeremy Scott with 1 touchdown. Defensively, William Felton had 9 tackles. Sacks, Randy Noble had 1, and interceptions, Kelly Jones, the transfer, had 1, and Wesley Miller, the safety, had 1. Season is officially over, so it's time to look at the season stats. Gio Lopez had 3,800 yards passing, 32 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 66% completion with a 154 rating. I want to look at his stats so far for the first 3 years and see what he's looking like. So he is progressively getting better a little bit each season. He had the highest quarterback rating so far. His completion percentage is still tied for the highest. He threw for almost the same amount of touchdowns and a little bit more interceptions, and I think 1 less game. For rushing yards, our quarterback had the most, 100 carries, 500 yards, 5.1 per carry with 6 touchdowns. Durr only had 80 carries, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. And our wide receiver had 45 carries, wow, 298 yards with 4 touchdowns. 84 yards is his longest run. It makes sense because Anthony Eager has 99 speed. Anthony Eager, 73 catches, 994 yards with 15 touchdowns. Yes, sir. Daquan Samuel almost had 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. Scott had 858 with 6 touchdowns. Tight end getting involved in a lot of the passing game here. 63 catches, 700 yards, and 6 tutties. Defensively, William Felton had the most tackles with 85. Blaine Myrick had 82, second most on the team. Tackles for loss, Nathan Jennings had 9, the most by far. Randy Noble had the most sacks with 6. We were barely getting any sacks this season. Mitchell Schluger is injured, but he had 3.5 sacks. Okay. Interceptions, Kelly Jones, the transfer, led the team with 3. Felton had 2, and then Myrick, Patterson, Osbury, and Miller all had 1 interception. Looking at the 2026 college football playoff bracket, Kansas State beats Wisconsin 27-10 to become the national champs, and they went 14-2 on the season. We only have 1 first-team national All-American, and he's the only All-American that made it at all. It is wide receiver Anthony Eager. He's only a 79 overall, but he's a deep threat with 99 speed. Dude had like the third most rushing yards on the team as a wide receiver, on top of having 15 receiving touchdowns, like 6 yards shy of 1,000 yards, I believe. Well, it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys wanting to transfer out, including Kelly Jones, who just transferred here. He wants to leave because of playing style. Dude, if you didn't like our playing style, then why did you even come to the team? You just led the team in interceptions. We do not need you to leave. Please stay, buddy. Yeah, he's staying. All right. Will James, you want to stay too? Can you please stay? You want to, right? No? A-hole. These safeties, let's see. Osbury was a starter. He has a low chance of staying. Let's see, is he going to stay? He's staying. Jamison Cloud, I don't even know if I want you to stay, but let's go ahead and see if he'll stay. No? Cornerback Jamal Miles, he's only a 74 as a junior. That's really not good, but let's see if we can get him to stay. Nope. All right, see you later, buddy. As far as graduation players go, Myrick, 87 overall, the highest rated, that's leaving. He's not projected to get drafted, but we know there's a chance that he could go in like the 7th or 6th round. We're also losing our starting center, our starting left guard, starting right guard, our best defensive tackle. He was a transfer, came over for 1 season. Caleb Patterson, he was a transfer, came over for 1 season, then graduated. Our starting strong safety is gone. Another starting defensive tackle gone. Once again, South Alabama producing draft picks. Blaine Myrick, the outside linebacker, 87 overall, gets drafted in the 7th round. In the transfer portal, we actually don't have any 4 stars that are interested in coming to the school, but I'm going to go through here and pick some 3 stars and add them to the board. It is National Signing Day. We finished with the 14th ranked recruiting class in the country, the best we've had so far. 33 total players. We got 2 5 stars, 9 4 stars, and 22 3 stars. Now we can see what our dev traits are looking like. We do have a star dev wide receiver, elite power back with 92 speed. Dude is 6 foot, 232 pounds. Do we got Derrick Henry 2.0 over here? Nice. That 5-star quarterback that we got he does have elite. Man, that is awesome to see. 91 speed, 92 throw power. He might end up starting as a freshman. I don't know. We're going to see what Gio Lopez is looking like. Oh, he's going to stick around for his senior year because he's not high enough rated to go to the draft. Obviously, he didn't declare. So we got elite deep threat wide receiver. Yeah, we're getting some talent here now, man. Elite free safety. That's a 5-star Tyrell Durant. And we're getting some guys up in here. Any other high dev traits we got? Everything's looking like impact. We got a star dev power rushing defensive end. He is a 3-star gem though. Here's a 3-star tight end transfer. He has star dev. Star dev for this pass protecting right tackle was a freshman transfer. Star dev for this transfer freshman middle linebacker. Here's a starting lineup for season 4. At quarterback, we're going with Gio Lopez for his last season, his 5th year senior year. He's technically 85 overall, but he's boosted up to 88. We're going to roll with him over the 5-star gem, Zach German, who is a 79 overall, but he's playing up to 83. He will be the starter next year for sure. I'm not going to redshirt him in case something happens to Lopez. German can step in and do some stuff. I'm going to take a closer look at these 2 quarterbacks to show you the difference between a 5-star gem and a 2-star. Gio Lopez is a 2-star, but you see he's a redshirt senior. He's up to 85 overall. Look at his overview. He is a 2-star normal dev guy, right? So looking at his ratings, he's maxed out completely on elusiveness. His accuracy is maxed out. His IQ is maxed out. He can still do a little bit on health and quickness, but he's basically developed to his full potential at this point. Zach German is a 5-star gem. He has elite development trait. He's already at 83 overall, and you can see he has a ton of room to grow and basically has a ton, like, he doesn't have any type of limitations besides quickness is on 2, but it's already maxed out. He has 91 speed, and his elusiveness, he has 1 that is blocked off, but all the other ones, there's no limit. It goes all the way. The boxes can be completely full on all this. So by the time this dude is a senior, he's probably going to be a 99 overall, maybe even as a junior. At running back, Bothwell has developed over Durr at this point. Bothwell is at 87, Durr is only 84. I don't even think it really matters because the running backs have like any type of involvement in the offense, really, like barely at all, at least running wise. At wide receiver, Eager is only at 80 overall. He was a 79 last year. Well, technically he's still a 79. He's boosted up to 80 overall, so he's maxed out. He's probably a 2-star also. Still got 99 speed. Pickett is up to an 80, Scott's a 78. We do have a lot of young freshman wide receivers, but they're all, you know, below these guys as far as overalls, so I'm redshirting all of them. We do have Delvin Papo coming in as our 4th-string receiver, and he's a redshirt freshman. At tight end, we have 81 overall Trent Thomas in his senior year. The offensive line this year is by far the best. I know I said that last season, but these guys just keep getting better. At left tackle, we have a 91 overall junior. At left guard, 86 overall sophomore. At center, 93 overall senior. Going to be getting drafted most likely. Right guard, 85 sophomore. Right tackle, 88 senior. He might be getting drafted. He's technically only at 85, so maybe not. Defensive end, we have an 85 senior. Another defensive end, 84 sophomore. Defensive tackle, 86 senior RJ Moss. He's been around for a minute. Noble is an 81 and Lincoln is a 79. Outside linebacker, we have Dominique Johns. He's an 83 overall. Middle linebacker, we have William Felton, 83 overall. Right outside linebacker, we have sophomore Evan Hendricks, 83 overall. Cornerback, 88 overall. Mari Fortenberry is the best guy for sure. Then we have Lewis and Jones. At free safety, 81 Lawrence is going to be starting for us. And at strong safety, the 5-star gem freshman, the only true freshman starting, Tyrell Durant, 79 overall. He is the best strong safety by far. As far as recruiting goes, I'm going after a ton of 5-stars and 4-star gems. The 5-star guys, pretty much, I mean, we have 500 hours. We are the best team that we can possibly be at this point. So I'm going to go big after these recruits. This is going to be the last year we are doing any type of recruiting, because the 5th and final season, we don't have to do any recruiting at all. The schedule this year, we are starting off with 2 ranked teams in a row. Washington State's 25, Illinois is 24. Then we have Akron, Louisiana Tech, Southern Mississippi, Troy, Texas State, Old Dominion, Marshall, UL Monroe, Arkansas State, and Louisiana. Marshall actually made it to the playoffs last year. I think they went like 12-3 or something like that, 12-2. I don't remember exactly what it was. But if we end up winning the conference championship this year, we will be going to a different conference at the end of the year. We're starting off the season strong. We are 3-0. At this point, we are the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Week with Mitchell Schluger. Dude had 3 sacks and 4 tackles total against Akron. Obviously, Akron is not that good. We started the season at week 0 playing against Washington State. We beat them 48-33. They were ranked at the time. And then we played Illinois in week 1. We beat them 27-24. They were ranked at the time. And then we destroyed Akron in week number 2, 48-17. So we are 3-0, but we are not ranked despite beating 2 top 25 teams to start the season. We get our first commitment of season 4. It is a 4-star gem tight end, Ches Crispin from Austin, Texas. We just picked up a 5-star cornerback, Eric Grimm from Duncanville, Texas. We also got a 5-star defensive end, Willie Callis from Texarkana, Texas. We getting them Texas boys up in here. We are 6 games into the season and we remain undefeated, 6-0. We are ranked 16 in the country. We are a 2.5-star school at the moment. We beat Louisiana Tech 42-21, beat Southern Mississippi 23-7, and we beat Troy barely 24-21. Apparently Troy is pretty good because they are 6-1 on the year. Pick up another 5-star right tackle, Rakeem Mentor from Joliet, Illinois. Breaking news, we have suffered our first loss of the season to good old Texas State 23-17, who was 5-3 on the year. That bumps us down to 22 in the country. Gio Lopez had a 154 rating, 180 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 68% completion. Running game once again is non-existent, and for some reason Durr is getting all the carries despite Bothwell being the better guy. That makes no sense, but okay. Receiving, Caleb Pickett 4 for 89 with the touchdown, and Smith Yates had 1 touchdown. Defensively, Felton had 7 tackles leading the team, 0 sacks once again, and 0 interceptions. We just won our 7th game of the season. Gio Lopez at quarterback wins the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Week versus Old Dominion, 384 yards passing with 5 touchdowns and no interceptions. The wins keep rolling in. We just got win number 8, and we got the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Week against Marshall. RJ Moss, the defensive tackle, the senior, got 2 sacks, 3 tackles, and 1 tackle for loss. We have breaking news. We finished the season 10-2, ranked number 20 in the country. We made it to the Sun Belt Conference Championship game against number 25, Georgia State. Last time we checked in, we lost to Texas State. After that, we won on a 4-game winning streak, beating Old Dominion 42-21, beating Marshall 49-15, destroying UL Monroe 42-7, beat Arkansas State 28-7, and then we lost to Louisiana in the last week of the season 28-22. We were ranked number 16 at that point, and we were 10-1. Fortunately, we are 10-2. We are ranked number 20. We got us a shot at the conference championship game, though. South Alabama has decided to extend us for a 5-year contract. I don't blame them. Been bringing some good stuff to this school. We did win the Sun Belt Conference Championship game, so that means that no matter what happens, we will be moving to a different conference for the final season of the rebuild. The score in the Georgia State game was us winning 34-26, so it was a pretty close game. Lopez had a 166 rating, 325 yards, 3 touchdowns. We threw 3 interceptions. Not good, buddy. 68% completion, and he had 10 carries for 62 yards and 1 touchdown. And once again, our running backs non-existent. Jeremy Scott had a hell of a game, 5 for 132 and a touchdown. And then the tight end Thomas 6 for 81 with the touchdown. Defensively, the free safety had the most tackles with 9. We actually had 3 sacks. RJ Moss had 1, Dominique Jones had 1, and Evan Hendricks had 1. Interceptions, we had 3. Jaden Lewis had 2 by himself, and then Osbury had 1. Unfortunately, we did not make it to the college football playoffs, but we do make it to the Birmingham Bowl game against number 16 North Carolina. This is the reason why we need to change to a different conference, because we're not playing against hard enough competition for them to give us respect and actually try to rank us high enough to put us into the college football playoffs. We did lose the bowl game to North Carolina 45-40 in a very close shootout, actually. Looking at the stats, their quarterback had a hell of a game. Lopez, not terrible, 164 rating, 327 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 67% completion in the last game of his career. Sadly, he will be moving on. Durr actually had 36 yards rushing, and Lopez 13 carries, 36 yards, 1 tutty. Receiving, the tight end had the game of his life for his last year, or his last game also. 8 catches, 101 yards, 1 touchdown. Smith Yates 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pickett had a touchdown. Defensively, we had 2 guys with 6 tackles leading the team, Fortenberry and Durant. Ooh, Durant, that's that freshman boy. Sacks, did we get any? No, we did get 2 interceptions though. Fortenberry had 1 and Lawrence had 1. Season is officially over, so it's time to look at the season stats. Gio Lopez had the best season of his career by far. 4,197 yards passing, just 3 shy of 4,200. 39 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions. 72% completion is awesome. 176 rating is the most by far. I'm gonna go here and reminisce on his 4 years so far as a starter. He's been solid all the way through, but he's definitely been getting better, and then this year was his biggest leap by far. Jumped up over 22 points in rating, had the most passing yards by 2. He had 4 more passing touchdowns than he ever had before in one season. Got sacked a decent amount every single time, but 72% completion is awesome. 9.5 yards per attempt is way better than he's ever had. So he's only 85 overall, so I don't expect him to get drafted. We know we haven't looked at his rushing stats. He's ran for over 500 yards every single year with a respectable average of at least 4 to 5 yards. Rushing, we actually have a running back that led the team in rushing yards. I don't believe it. Bothwell, 765 yards, 5.7 per carry is awesome. 10 touchdowns. He needs to get the ball way more. Saw Lopez's stats rushing. Receiving, Eager in his last season, 953 yards with 8 touchdowns. He had 15 touchdowns last season. Grant Thomas at tight end was approaching 900 yards. That's crazy in a college season. 7 touchdowns. Pickett had 850 with 8 touchdowns, and Smith Yates had 800 with 11 touchdowns. Defensively, the free safety Osbury led the team in tackles with 84. Tackles for loss, Schluger had 7 sacks. Noble, the defensive tackle, had 9. Moss, the other defensive tackle, was 7.5. Schluger had 6. Interceptions, Fortenberry with a big old 6. Nice. Lewis had 4. Jones had 2. Felton, Osbury, and Lawrence had 1. I've been sticking with the same coordinators the entire rebuild, the same offensive and defensive coordinator, but we have finally lost our offensive coordinator. Somebody else hired him, so we have to go through and hire somebody. We need to find somebody that, what is our scheme? Spread? Yeah. Need to find a spread guy for their offensive scheme. Spread. So one of these three guys, they already have offers from other schools. Who has the highest level? 20? This guy? All right, we're gonna go ahead and offer you, buddy. We do end up hiring George English, the guy that we sent the offer to. 2027 college football playoff. We have Oklahoma defeating USC 45-27 to become the national champs. They went 15-2 this year. I better watch out because we are coming for y'all next year. We actually have 2 national All-Americans this season. One of them is first team. It is our center, Ethan Hubbard. He is a senior, 91 overall. I expect him to get drafted for sure. And on the second team, we have our running back, Fluff Bothwell. Never expected that to happen because our running backs never do anything. We have 2 players wanting to transfer out, including our starting right tackle, Adrian Griffin, for playing style. Still don't understand what the hell that means, but go ahead and try to get him to stay. And no, he has not been persuaded. Damn it. All right, well, let's try to persuade Hutchinson. He's decided to stay. All right, cool. We have 1 player projected to get drafted, our center, Ethan Hubbard, the first team All-American, 91 overall. We do have 2 guys that are 88 overall, a left tackle, Julius Kidd, and a defensive tackle, RJ Moss. Wouldn't be surprised to see them get drafted in the 7th or 6th round. These guys that are 85, I've never seen an 85 overall get drafted before. Giorgio Lopez, our quarterback, he's just like literally right there on the brink of getting drafted, but maybe he'll make a team as an undrafted free agent. Looky there, we have 3 players that got drafted. Our center, Ethan Hubbard, goes in the 1st round. Nice. And then those 2 88 overalls I mentioned, they both got drafted in the 6th round. So that's what I'm saying. Even though they're not projected to get drafted, if they're at least an 87 or an 88, they have a chance to go in the 6th or 7th round. Despite the fact that the team has been balling out, we only have 1 4-star player that's interested in coming to us through the transfer portal. I'm gonna go after him, and I'm not doing any other recruiting because 3-star players are not gonna help us at all for the last season. Pretty much no true freshmen are probably gonna be playing, maybe a couple of 5-stars, but we'll see. National signing day, and we still got a top 20 recruiting class. We finished 19th with only 14 players. We got 3 5-stars and 7 4-stars. I did go after a couple of 3-stars at the beginning of the season, but then I stopped. We actually got the 2nd most 3-stars, tied for 2nd of all the schools. We're about to start season number 5, and like I said, we moved to a different conference. We're trying to make it to the playoffs, so we need tougher competition. So we are moving to the Big 12. We replaced Arizona State because they were the lowest overall team in this division. They were like an 81 overall. So I created 2 divisions here, and we're gonna have a conference championship game in the Big 12. All we have to do is beat out these teams. We have Utah and us are ranked on this side, and on the other side they have Baylor and Colorado that's ranked. So it's pretty much as even as it can get. This is what the depth chart is looking like for the 5th and final season. We are starting off ranked number 16. We are a 3-star school now in the Big 12. We started out as a 1-star school, so we already tripled that, and we are technically an 89 overall with 89 offense and 90 defense. Best team by far. We have a new quarterback starting, Zach German. He was the 5-star guy last year. He's already up to 84 overall as a true sophomore. At running back, Bothwell is back. He is an 87 overall. He was a 2nd team All-American last year. At wide receiver, we actually have some guys in the 80s now, which hasn't happened the entire rebuild until now. Caleb Pickett's an 85, Papo is an 82, and we have 2 redshirt freshmen that are 80 overall. At tight end, we have a true freshman starting, Ches Crispin. He's a 76 overall. Left tackle was a 91, left guard's a 87, center is a 86, right guard's a 87, right tackle is a 85. At left end, we have 88 Nathan Jennings. At right end, we have 86 Schluger. I'm waiting for Schluger to have like a breakout season, man. At D tackle, Noble is at 83, Lincoln's at 83, and then we have a redshirt freshman, Alejandro Madden. Outside linebacker, 91 for Evan Hendricks. Middle linebacker, Jermaine Krause is a 90 overall. Outside linebacker, 89. At cornerback, Bortenberry is up to a 90 as a senior. Then we have Lewis and Gentry, 87 and 86 overall. Free safety, Lawrence is up to 88. And at strong safety, he was a 5-star gym freshman last year. He was a 79. He's only up to 81 as a sophomore, but he's still the best safety we have on the team. This is what the schedule was looking like for the last season. Starting out against number 8 Ole Miss. Then we have Bowling Green, number 18 Baylor, Mid Tennessee, number 19 Colorado, Oklahoma State, TCU, Kansas, Kansas State, West Virginia, UCF, and then end the season against number 7 Utah. So yeah, this is definitely the hardest schedule we had to play. Hopefully we can prove that we deserve to be here and make it to the playoffs this season. We started off the season beating number 8 Ole Miss 48-45, so we are 1-0. We are ranked number 8. That's the highest we've ever been rated. That was a pretty big shootout there, 48-45. See what our new quarterback's doing, the sophomore. German at a 209 rating, 292 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 83% completion. Come on, 2 sacks. Let's see, how many rushing yards do you think he had? Bothwell had the most with 51, and he had 3 rushing touchdowns. German only had 29 yards, 2.6 per carries, not great. Papo had 7 catches, 134 yards, 2 tutties. Pickett had a touchdown, and the freshman receiver Fisher had 1. Defensively, Felton led the team in tackles with 6. No sacks, but we do have 2 interceptions, 1 for Wheat and 1 for Lawrence. Currently in week 5, we just played Middle Tennessee. We got the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. Wide receiver Delvin Papo, who had 8 catches, 210 yards, and 3 tutties. Welcome to the Big 12, where defense doesn't exist. We are halfway through the season, 6 games in. We are 4-2. We are still ranked number 22 in the country, but we are 1-2 in the Big 12, so we're not starting off good there. Beat Bowling Green 49-10. Lost to Baylor, who was I think like 0-3 at the time. 34-15 they beat us. We destroyed Middle Tennessee 66-14. We beat ranked Colorado 31-13, and then we lose to unranked Oklahoma State 35-28. We have TCU, Kansas, Kansas State, West Virginia, UCF, and Utah left. We just finished the last game of the regular season against Utah. We got the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. Fortenberry, the senior cornerback, he had 2 interceptions, 3 tackles, and 1 tutty. When we left off, we were 4-2, and we just lost to Oklahoma State. Now we are 9-3, and we are ranked number 14 in the country. We beat TCU 34-28, beat Kansas 27-13. We did lose to Kansas State 42-21, and they're ranked number 3. They went 11-1 on the year, so they're really a tough team for sure. We beat West Virginia 28-26. We beat UCF 17-16 by 1 point. Then we blew out Utah 49-9. We are 9-3. I'm not sure if we're going to make it to the Big 12 championship. Doesn't look like it because it says that we are ranked 3rd in the Big 12. Yeah, we are ranked 3rd in our Division 2. We are 6-3. Oklahoma State 6-3. Kansas State went 9-0. In the Division 1 of the Big 12, Cincinnati's 8-1, so we're not even making it to the Big 12 championship, so I doubt we're making it to the playoffs. Unfortunately, we did not make the playoffs, but we did make it to the Texas Bowl, Big 12 versus SEC, so we are taking on the Missouri Tigers. We are ranked number 13 at this point. I'm just messing around looking at the coaching opportunities, and Alabama wants to hire us as the head coach. That is insane. They are a 5-star school, and they're ranked 89 overall, just like us, and we're only a 3-star school. And then a couple teams want us to be coordinators, but yeah. Unfortunately, we lost the bowl game to Missouri 35-31 in a very close game. I think it was a respectable loss. The German had a 183 rating, 267 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 67% completion. Pretty solid performance by him. And he led the team in rushing as expected because Bothwell wasn't doing crap. Receiving, Fisher, the freshman, had 6 for 88 with 2 tutties, and the freshman tight end had 5 for 70 with a touchdown. Nice. Defensively, Hendricks had the most tackles with 11. Sacks, we had 0, and Gentry had the 1 interception. Since the season is officially over, it's time to look at the stats. And German, the quarterback, in his first year as a starter, as a sophomore, 3,500 yards passing, 39 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions, 67% completion with the 173 rating. This is similar to the season that Gio Lopez had in his 5th year senior season. And this dude is his first time starting as a sophomore. So yeah, you can see this dude has a ton of potential. At running yards, Bothwell had 619 yards, 8 touchdowns, 5 yards per carry. He's a 90 overall, so he'll definitely be getting drafted. Sherman had 549 yards rushing with 4 touchdowns. And then our wide receiver Fisher had 39 carries as a wide receiver, wow, with 7 rushing touchdowns. Okay, the South Alabama playbook loves to run the receivers. Damn, look at Delvin Papo in his first year as a real starter. 67 catches, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, 18 yards per catch. That's crazy. That's like Antonio Brown type numbers in his prime. Pickett had 650 yards, 12 touchdowns. Man, Fisher 600 yards with 10 touchdowns. So yeah, this quarterback is dishing out touchdowns like crazy to these receivers. True freshman tight end had 500 yards for 4 touchdowns. Defensively, Felton had the most tackles with 95 tackles for loss. Lincoln had 15 sacks. The redshirt freshman defensive tackle Alejandro Madden, 7.5 sacks. Luger only had 4. Man, I've been waiting for you to have a breakout season, bro, but you never do it. Lincoln had 3.5. Jennings had 3 interceptions. Fortenberry in his senior year, 4 interceptions, 89 overall. He should be getting drafted. Krause had 2, Gentry had 2, Lawrence had 2, Felton, Durant, and we all have 1. Looking at the 2028 college football playoff bracket, we have Georgia defeating Penn State 31-20 to become the national champs. They went 15-1. Unfortunately, we never touched the college football playoffs. We only have 1 national All-American, and it's for second team, and it's the punter Parker Solder as a senior. I remember he made the freshman national All-American team like 4 years ago whenever he was a freshman. We have 2 players projected to get drafted. Running back Fluff Bothwell, he's a 90 overall, projected to go in the 6th round, and then cornerback Fortenberry's 89 overall, projected to go in the 7th. We do have 2 guys that are 87 overall, a cornerback Jaden Lewis and a defensive end Nathan Jennings. They could potentially get drafted in the 7th round. We had 2 guys getting drafted. The running back Fluff Bothwell had 90 overall. He got drafted in the 5th round. Fortenberry, the cornerback, 89 overall, gets drafted in the 6th round. That is the final 5th season of the rebuild. When we took the team over, they were 7-6, and they just came off of a bowl game. First season we went 5-7, definitely a terrible season. Second season we went 10-4, but nothing happened. We didn't make any bowls. I think we did make a bowl game, but we lost the game. 2026 we went 9-4, won our first bowl game. 2027 was our best year. We went 11-3, won the Sun Belt Conference Championship, but we did lose the bowl game that we made it to. 2028 we decided we wanted to move to a different conference to try to get some respect on our name and have a chance to make it to the college football playoffs. I think for the first season being in the Big 12 as South Alabama and going 9-4, or actually technically 9-3 in the conference, we beat the dog crap out of some of them teams. I think that's pretty good. So this team has built up pretty well at this point. We have a stud quarterback. If we did a couple more years, we'd probably make it to the playoffs, potentially win a championship. But that's going to be it for the rebuild. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, say something down in the comments, make a suggestion for another team you want to see me rebuild. I will pick one comment and make a video of it. Appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.